Hi, English 102 students. Hope you've taken the time to read my feedback on your outline and then gone back to review the instructions. If I said something about, hey, you didn't follow the instructions, that you hope you may have feedback on your diagnostic revision. So look for that. That will help you. That is all there as your coach to kind of say, hey, this is what you need to work on. This is what is working. This is what's not working so far. So you can be successful and improving your writing for the college level, and that will express itself greatly in your major essay draft. So, don't worry as much about the assignments leading up to it, except this. Like, if you didn't make a great grade, if you made a C on your outline, you could still make an A uh, on your final essay draft if you make those changes and improve, and that's what's going to come out and make the grade good, and then you'll improve for the next time. So it should be, like a movement up. But if you don't read your feedback and it's not good, it'll kind of stay the same. All right. So we're looking for this. Everybody can improve. This is that type of a thing. This is not about natural talent. This is not I'm good or I'm not good. Now, everybody can get better, and you do need feedback from someone who can identify those places where you need to tweak and make changes. We have tutors. We have live 24/7 tutors. So if you're stuck like, I don't know how to make this better, she said I need a better thesis statement and I don't know what to do with it, that's a perfect opportunity before you do your draft to go and set up an appointment. There are all kinds of time slots, and then make an appointment with the tutor, tutor.com. Show them the draft, the instructions. That way they know what you're supposed to be writing. Hopefully they have a screen share where you could show them the assignment, and you could show them your outline and the feedback you got, and they can help you push through that, whatever that spot is in there that you're like, I'm not sure about. Okay, so please, that's what they're there for, to give you that one-on-one about exactly the thing that you need a little push. You just need that. It's like your personal conditioning coach or your personal skills coach. That's what you go off to the side, you work. They have strength conditioning coaches. They have ones if you're, to work on your offense, or if you're a quarterback to work on your throw, and get that special training that you need one-on-one. I'm like the head coach, and then I'm telling you what we got to do to be successful. You've got to work with your personal coach. That's your tutor. All right. Um, Drafting instructions. Let me go there. You should be ready if you have, if you've done your outline and you see that, then you can start writing. It's really not magical. It's like, now I want paragraphs, okay? So let's just review the process. It starts with the assignments of readings that I give you, and the studying of that, and the watching the videos that talk about that, and that gives you ideas. And then I give you that focus with okay, these are your 3 focus points, and you do your outline. This is where we move from outline to draft, where we actually write paragraphs. Okay, so that's why it's in bold. And I review the same thing. You're following that outline. This is a continuation of what you started there. So after you have, let me move my little box out of the way. Check my feedback on your outline to see if you need to make any changes before drafting. And if you're stuck, that's where you get help from a tutor. Then you write at least 500 words and 3 paragraphs of your essay. You can write more if you're on a roll. Start with these, but I need to have a thesis statement. Okay, so if you can write your introduction, that would be awesome, even if it's not finished. Okay, that has that thesis statement in it. If you wrote it for your outline, you already have it. Try to get all 4 paragraphs in. Okay, now how long should they be? To get 500 words, let's micro it down, right? You're going to need to end up with 1,000, so we need to get progressive here. In your outline, it's just, I don't know, I'm not counting words there. It's just a collection of ideas, an organized way. Okay, you have something. You're not going to sit there at a blank screen. You can have an outline, and then you just take one of the body topics and you just start writing sentences. A typical paragraph is going to be 7 to 10 sentences, and that will give you a framework for, am I going into enough detail? Am I giving too much? The other thing it mentions is supporting page-cited quotations. All right, so you should have a quotation, maybe a very selective one. It has to be short, can't be like the whole poem or whole paragraph, a specific statement that someone said from the story or that's in the narration if it's in the story, um, or a line from the poem, a phrase that expresses that idea, okay, that you're talking about. Say, for example, in Ashley Jones' poem such and such, this one, she says this, which, and then you explain how that expresses the theme of identity there. I did that verbally with you in the video, so you can go back for ideas, but I'm hoping that you see things as well and that you're then saying it in your own words. So you've got those 7 to 10 sentences are going to include a topic sentence, which says basically the theme of this kind of identity is presented in this story and this story, and then you just start explaining that. And then you, within that paragraph, you're saying it's tied to the conflict and go back to your conflict analysis. You've already done one for everyday use. If it's a poem, and look for what's the conflict there. There is one. Okay, even though there may not be a clear protagonist, antagonist, it's there. It's there. Maybe it's the persona, the person of the poem speaking. They're up against something, society. It's not just a personal person, a character unnamed. What's that conflict and how is that expressed? So you're writing about that, and then 7 to 10 sentences, including selective citations. Now, page citing has become more difficult with digital online web things. If you have a PDF in your possession or book, some of these have them, some of these don't. This is true for all of them. And has a page number, you use it. Be sure you introduce that quotation very clearly. Sometimes with poems, it's not a page, it's more if there's a stanza or a line number. We do that with plays, like act number and a line number. If you don't, you have to use what you're given. Okay, so I think the excerpt I got for you for Act 3 didn't even have line numbers. So you would have to say, at near the end of Act 3, Nora says to Torvald, in quotation marks, right? Then you're going to need like you did your citations, you need a works cited page with your citations on it. This should just be copied over from the outline unless you know how to make a correction. Go back to that. Remember, everything's MLA formatted. This one is really where it's more real MLA formatting. You've got to have paragraphs that are double spaced and paragraph indented, whereas in the outline you have these Roman numerals. But all of them will have that 4-part MLA heading, in the top left, okay, and a title that's centered, and then a works cited page that's on the next page, whatever it is on the next page, same document file, centered works cited, with those citations on it, okay. If you're using Google Docs, you've got to download it, pick the file tab, I think it is. You can Google if you know how to convert a Google Doc to a Word document or PDF, and it's a very simple process, and then you upload that file, okay, or the PDF. All right, those are the draft instructions. Now, let me go to the assignment. I want to show you what MLA looks like. Okay, there's a few other things. Let's see here. I've already gone over the instructions. To receive passing credit, C or higher, your draft does not have to be perfect, but it has to follow the assignment instructions. Now, if you get a B or an A, that does not mean you have nothing left to do to it. I'm not micro checking it for every single little possible error. I'm looking for, is it on track? Okay, so here's an example. Here's the minimum requirements. To get a B or higher, not only do you meet the minimums, it will have very few errors and need just minor tweaking and in addition to any content that is incomplete. Okay, so I may find an error in the final draft that I didn't comment on in the first. That's just because I'm not sitting there and looking at every single word. I'm trying to identify the key pass-fail issues, because my biggest priority is making sure that you're at that competent level, and I'll show you how to get the better grades and identify the errors and say, hey, you've got a lot of run-ons, or you need to, these are kind of vague, and that you work with a tutor to make those things stronger, okay? All right, Don't let the deadline pass just because you had a problem. Okay? If you had any trouble submitting as an attachment, then listen, this is a backup. Okay? If you cannot get it attached, copy your draft into the text box or upload it as a PDF, okay? But message me to let me know there was a problem. All right, we'll have to get that fixed because I need them in there as attached files, all right? But don't just let the deadline pass. You can't be passive about this. You have to be proactive. And if you run into a problem that you can't Google your way out of in terms of figuring out what to do, um, follow these instructions, let me know, and I'll try to assist you, okay? But it's usually something, once we figure it out, it's done, we're fine. At least I know you did it, and I can give you feedback on it, and we'll figure it out. Um, the students that don't pass the class are typically just the ones that there's two reasons, and I've been teaching this for many years. Either they just don't do the work, or they don't do the work as assigned, okay? And that would include, the second one is they plagiarized instead of actually doing it. Plagiarism is both of those reasons. They don't do their own work, and they don't do what's assigned. They go find something, and I have very specific content for one of those reasons, and that is to make sure you're writing your own work, okay? Not finding something pre-written. It's pre-written, it doesn't fit exactly. And I may or may not be able to prove you plagiarized it, even though we have some pretty good little originality report indicators. But I can tell, it's very easy to tell when it doesn't follow the instructions. And so students that make good effort and to follow directions, even if this is not their strong point, tend to end up doing well. I mean, they may struggle at the start, but then they figure it out. And they're fine, okay? And a B is a good grade at a college composition class, believe me. And so, if English isn't your subject, first we want to make sure you pass, but let's say, hey, we can do better than that. Okay? I know how to help you with that. And like I said, we have tutors that can help you one-on-one. Don't just not do it. You can't pass if you don't do. Um, make that effort. Okay, I just want to make sure you know you can do this. There are some specifics. I'm going to show you real quick a sample essay, just so, not because it's got the same topic, it doesn't. It has a different topic. I changed the topics up. But this is what MLA looks like. Okay, you see the four-part heading, you see the title in the center, you see the double spacing. This is the paragraph indenting here is a tab indent on your keyboard. Okay, you see the length. The paragraph, you see a quote here for support. There's another one. This one is 750 or so words would come about in the middle here. So this one's much longer. Well, not much. It's more than 800 or so. Works cited page, these did not have to use 2 or more, but you see how it's called hanging indented. Double spaced. You will have at least two selections on here for yours, so it'll be different. But I just wanted to preview so that we're on the same page about what that is supposed to look like. Okay. I'm not going to have that available because I don't want anybody copying from it. Again, it doesn't follow the same instructions for content. All right, last minute here I have with you. Just if themes are something you're still supposed to be looking at, and there's some questions, quiz about themes, so make sure you look at that. The worksheet is something we'll be adding to progressively. This is a good thing for you to download and start collecting information about each short story that you study. This won't work necessarily for the poems or play excerpts, but for the short stories, you should collect this information. Okay, and we've done conflict analysis. We haven't, and some of that includes the structure. We haven't talked yet about point of view. You might know something about that. We're going to be studying character analysis soon, but we are always going to be talking about theme, and then a little bit later in the semester, we'll talk about symbols. I'm not sure if we get to irony, but these are good things to kind of try to collect information about for each short story that we study. And these are review. Here's one on how to find a theme, if that still seems like a difficult thing for you. And it can be very challenging until you kind of get the hang of it. So there's some extra videos here to help you. How do you know that's a theme, right? If you didn't do too well on the diagnostic essay and interpreting theme, I would definitely recommend